All right, Joe Pelgizzo here. The thing about YouTube is that it's all about content. You gotta have new content all the time. Gotta think about the next big idea. So it's getting back to summer now, and that means I will be out playing every weekend with the band. Working, slaving away at the county fair, rocking those Indian casinos for the kids. You know I do it for the kids all the time, those 50-something kids. Thank God they still love their rock. Some people ask me, why don't you show us some backstage footage, man? I don't know, I guess it'd be cool. To me, it's just not very selfie worthy. I mean, there's no stripper poles, there's no mound of Coke on the table. It's just kind of Cliff Bars and beef jerky and some Diet Coke. That's it. But what if I told you what a normal week was like, say, 1988, during the Sunset Strip heyday, on the Strip? You know, a time when you could see Axl or Slash just hanging out at a club, before they became mega famous. That was the year I got my first record deal, December 1988. 1988 was, wow, youth. Lots of band rehearsal, demoing up new songs that would eventually become the Blackout in the Red Room record, playing the Whiskey, playing the Roxy, the occasional one-night stand with a drunken stripper, or the occasional drunken fist fight on the Strip over territory, flyer wars. Let's go back in time and see what a normal week was like for me and the Love Hate guys way back in 1988. Crazy, maybe? Unhinged? Sometimes. Desperate? In my case, most assuredly so. Binge drinking, writing songs, good songs, classic songs. No excuses, man. No hope, no money. And then, boom, the payoff. Success. Okay, here we go. So back in 1998, we all lived in this shitty building in downtown LA. 1515 Mateo. Google it. It was right off of Skid Row. The Skid Row. Except no imitations. It was Spartan living, even by Spartan standards. Actually, your bedroom or cubicle had a bed, a dresser, a kettle to make your morning cup of instant coffee, a black and white TV. That was it. It's like living in a monastery, like being a monk. No money to speak of ever, just enough to pay the $200 a month rent and a little bit extra every month for food and maybe a beer once in a while. I had a job for a while. First I parked cars in the rich part of the San Fernando Valley called Encino, but I kept mouthing off to all those rich people who felt it was their God-given right to degrade me for being a lowly car hop. Hey, long hair, did you have to go to college to get this job? Yeah, the joke's on me, I guess, but at least I'm not bald. You see, I couldn't handle it even then. Even then, I didn't want people to with me. So naturally, that job didn't last. Then I got another job delivering fine art to a fancy art gallery in Santa Monica. My ex-manager bought me a $500 Chevy van so I could get the job, and check it out. This van had no working gas gauge, no working windshield wipers, 4 bald tires, and a huge dent down the side where a recent ex-girlfriend had spray painted the word down the side. Seriously, when I'd start the van in the morning, it would belch thick black smoke for 10 straight minutes like a forest fire. It was straight up Cheech and Chong van right out of Up in Smoke. The irony of it was that I was delivering fine art, and I mean expensive shit. I was responsible for delivering thousands of dollars worth of fine art every day. Exotic lithographs, Warhols. Sometimes I would have over $10,000 worth of art in the back of this piece of shit van that barely ran, and when it did run, it would always run out of gas. It seemed almost every day I'd have to rescue myself and this art from some horrifying calamity. One time, I ran out of gas on the crowded 405 freeway in the middle of rush hour. Now, anyone that lives in LA knows what I'm talking about. It was fucking mass hysteria. I'm driving down the 405 towards Ventura Boulevard, and boom, ran out of gas again. The van just stops right in the middle of traffic, right in the middle lane of traffic. Oh, and it was also pouring rain, by the way. As I said, the windshield wipers were broken. So when it rained, I had to lean out the window and use a fucking window scraper as a makeshift windshield wiper. I'm not kidding you. You should see me driving with one hand, the other arm hanging out the window, scraping the fucking glass. So anyway, the van just stops in the middle of the freeway. Honk, 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 you. So I jump out of the van, I grab the gas can, and I ran to the side of the freeway, dodging 4 or 5 speeding cars. I climbed over the fence and slid down this muddy hill on my ass, covered in mud, to try and find a gas station. Panicking. I find a gas station, I get a gallon of gas, then I hightailed it back to the freeway, climbed back over the hill. By that time, the entire freeway was backed up for miles. People screaming at me, losing their minds. F you, honk, honk, honk. Yeah, I know. Life sucks. I put the gas in the van. I get in the van and I'm soaked, and I had to pull the center console off, that whole big van cover. The van wouldn't start unless I poured gas straight into the carburetor. Of course. So the van finally starts, and I drive to this art gallery, shaking like a leaf, man. Like I just shot up a syringe full of meth. The gallery manager's very calm and goes, "Was there any problems, Jizzo?" "Oh, no problem at all, man. No problem at all. I'm fine. I just aged about 10 years in the last hour." Yeah, that was my life. That was my fucking day. Every day. Until I came to the realization that rock was the only way to get out of this mess, man. That was it. No more jobs. No more distractions. Just stay alive, bro. Be a musician. Write better songs. Demo up those cassettes and hit up the record companies once again, even though they all know you by now and they all hate you. No one wants to sign you. They've told you this 1,000 times. "No thanks, man. No thanks. Pass. You've been passed on. You're passed on. You're pissed on." Yeah, that's where I was in the first part of 1998. Nowheresville. But you know what? It wasn't all bad. Every morning, we, the 3 band guys, me, Skid, and Joey, would walk under the 10 freeway to our breakfast place called Mugs Up. We'd order breakfast and talk about the band. It was all you ever talked about. The band was your entire fucking life, because this was no hobby, no holiday cruise, man. We lived in that shitty building for one reason only: to get a record deal. It was equal parts misery and poverty and boredom and occasional shows at the Whiskey or sometimes even the Roxy. It was getting stoned constantly on crummy dirt weed we picked up at the barrio. Getting stoned got us through the tough times, man. Then after breakfast, we'd go back to the building, write songs, I'd read books, philosophize, testify. We'd rehearse or record new songs. That was the best part about living in the building. You could make noise all the time. Total freedom to be a real rock and roller. We had no manager, no agent. We had no financial backing. It was just us 4 dudes in the jungle. Skid Row gypsies, man. Looking back on it, how did we survive without killing one another? There were fights. Oh yes, lots of fights. Real fights. Fist fights. Lots of screaming and yelling all the time. But we didn't break up, man. It was like being in Shawshank prison without the redemption. Bands were getting signed all the time. You'd hear about it through the grapevine. LA Guns, Faster Pussycat. You knew them and you wanted to be them, man. You wanted what they had. Our weekends were mostly spent every night flyering on the strip, like everyone else, either in front of the Whiskey or up the hill in front of the Rainbow near the Roxy. Love Hate, Tough, Jet Boy, Black Cherry, Bang Tango. We were all there, man. Us and 1,000 other nameless bands long since forgotten. Flyers stapled on phone poles, flyers littering the ground, thousands of multicolored flyers, pink and blue, every band giving their best blue steel ducklet pout, either glammed out like Poison or acting tough like Guns N' Roses. One or the other, trying to be cute or trying to be badass. Lots of networking, lots of gossiping. Did you hear, man? That guy's band broke up. Oh, did you hear, man? That guitar player OD'd. Oh, yeah, well, heroin's bad. He shouldn't have done heroin. But what you were really thinking was, better him than me. Once in a while, you'd hook up with a girl. She dug you. She liked you enough to sleep with you for that night only. Then she'd move on to the next guy. We all looked the same anyway, really. Then back to the corner of Sunset and San Vicente, flyers in hand. Come see me at the Whiskey, man. Check out my band. Can you imagine? I was on the Strip for years doing this. Years! Can you imagine what that was like? What it took to stick it out? Trying, failing, but never quitting. I spent most of 1986 and 1987 in the same place, in the same spot, like a homeless squatter. Never closer, it seemed, to the elusive record deal. If it was just me, I probably would have given up. But you see, I had the band to back me up, and they had me. We were a fucking tribe, man. We were a tribe. The bond we had from living together in that shitty building, somehow it kept me from wanting to jump out the fucking window every day. Now, think of this, think of me, then multiply me by 1,000, by 10,000, and you'll finally understand what it was like on the Sunset Strip in 1988. We all had the same dream, the same drive, the same urgency. We all looked the same. We all played the same A chords and the same knockoff Les Paul guitars. We all sang about beer and chicks and Saturday night. All of us, man. We all had loads of ex-friends and ex-girlfriends that had given up on us, laughing at us, actually, behind our backs. We all had parents that fervently wished that we would just grow the up and get a real job. But alas, it was not to be. We would not be deterred. We were destined. All of us in the same boat. Desperate, poor, starving, somehow scrounging up the money for yet another demo, another batch of new songs to try and impress the record companies. Maybe this would be the one that does it, man. All trying to stay afloat and not kill each other until some record company would notice us and put us on a tour bus, man. Put us on MTV. I want to open for AC/DC. I want to hang out with Ronnie James Dio. I want to be like Ronnie James Dio. Rock gods, help me, help me. That was a week in the life. The band was everything. The band was your only way in and your only way out. It was your strength. It was your golden ticket. There were no other considerations. Your parents or your friends, even your girlfriend, was just a footnote to that almighty quest. The quest dominated your every thought. Every action was taken in search of the record deal. Gotta make it. Gotta be famous. Gotta be on MTV. And you really didn't even know what making it meant. Nobody knew shit about business or selling records or percentages or points or anything. You didn't know what it was like to have your own apartment or have a refrigerator full of food or even being able to take a girl out to dinner. These things were totally out of reach. Then it happened. December 1988. That blessed day at the Whiskey that changed everything. Changed my life. For one brief, shining moment, everyone on the Strip for once envied us. Everyone wanted to be us. We were pulled out of the muck and transported. We were given the keys to the kingdom. And here I am, still pushing that stone up the hill. It never ends. The singing, the rehearsing, the upkeep, doing business, hustling gigs, it never ends. The 20-something back in 1988 would never have imagined he'd still be doing this. Really? Singing for Quiet Riot? Singing for Rat? Never would have thought of that. All this and still doing the love-hate thing too. Wow. My little band is alive. That's a small bit of satisfaction in this world. Speaking of the Sunset Strip, I have a gig this weekend with another bunch of survivors, the Warrant guys. Those guys were there too, man, on the Strip, just like me. Do they reminisce about the old days like I do? Maybe. I don't know. Good for them and good for us. So let's do it. Your old pal Jizzo, rockin' and rollin'. We'll see you next time.